In Portugal, time slows down and the world feels softer. A place that doesn't ask you to rush, but asks you to pause, to feel, to taste. We tasted pastel de natas and pastries that tasted like heaven. And what better to pair it with than some strong espresso? I willingly ate seafood for the first time, bones and all. Rip my head off. Cheers.
Cheers.
We sip vino tinto and port wine in the hills of the Duoro Valley. And we ate traditional Portuguese food, because when in Portugal, you eat as the Portuguese do. We chased the sunset across the river. The sky glowed and the people seemed in love with being alive. On our last night in Porto, a majestic peacock crossed our path. Unhurried, unbothered, this peacock was perfectly in rhythm with the moment without trying, just like we were trying to be. I never thought I would find inspiration in a peacock, but that's the magic of Portugal. Driving our stick-shift rental car through winding roads to Sintra, we stopped in Coimbra for no other reason than sheer hunger. We found a bowl of perfect pasta. And in the wise words of me, happy tummy, life's less crummy. After a couple of hours, we arrived to the fairy tale of Sintra, where it not only looked like a fairy tale, but it sounded like one too.
What's that noise?
Peacocks.
No.
Yeah.
In Sintra, we made our way to the Pena Palace. It was beautiful, majestic, surreal. But we realized in this castle full of tourists that we're not about this tourist lifestyle. I don't know if it's the noise, the stage smiles, the awkward exchange of I'll take your photo if you take mine, but do you see the fear in my eyes? And I get it, I love a good photo op too, but this is enough to make me retreat to a corner whilst eating pipocas. Away from the tourists, we found ourselves more moved by espressos with beautiful scenery and sweet things like travesseros and queijadas. We sipped ginja and sagrej, discovering that the best parts of travel and life are found in the moments we share, far from the noise. Then came Beja, warm, wide, and peaceful. Much like home, but minus the chaos. The birds sang happily. Matt described it as them chirping like they were home. And somehow, we felt the same. This is what life is about. Enjoying each other, enjoying the things God has placed around us, the hot sun, the way it feels on your skin. It's the little blessings that make life so beautiful, and we don't have to travel the world to see it. There's so much beauty in this gift of life. There's beauty in everyone, there's beauty in everything, in the food that we eat, in the wine that we drink, and it's all part of the gift of life. Yes, the gift of life, and the gift of holding on for dear life. I don't know why I chose horseback riding over ATVing. Something about horses just felt more in my control. But as I straddled this unfamiliar horse, I remembered that horses have a mind of their own. And suddenly, I could see my own demise. Falling into this body of water, the weight of the horse crashing down on top of me. A honeymoon tragedy in Portugal. But thankfully, the horses were calm. So just like in The Gift of Life, I enjoyed the ride. Bread. We all love bread. Our ancestors loved bread. Their ancestors loved bread. And here, bread is not just a food, it's a way of life. A living tradition passed down by generations and passed on to people like us. Alentejo bread contains the simplest ingredients. Just flour, yeast, salt, warm water, and patience. Oh, don't forget the love. Kneading the dough is tougher than it looks. It's humbling, honestly, especially with a full set of acrylic nails. Not to mention, I was trying to impress a woman who's been cooking since she was a child. Matt definitely got the easy part of kneading the dough. It was like watching someone casually open the jar that you've been struggling with for 10 minutes. But other than that, everything else was simple. After the dough rises, then it's the fun stuff. We got to shape our little breads, and we even got to pimp them out. Chorizo, salami, cheese, and even pumpkin jam. We could even turn the bread into little mini pizza breads. It was so fun. It was like a Lunchables, but for adults in Portugal on their honeymoon. And that's the beauty of food. It's meant to be shared, played with, and passed on. I love a cooking class. Not only did we make delicious bread, but we made a new memory, cooking together in a new country. And now we get to keep the recipe and that memory, something that we'll have forever. At times like this, I wish there was smell-o-vision, because if y'all could smell this Alentejo bread, More wine. This isn't just wine, this is rosé. And this wine tasting was just to ourselves. The perfect ending before heading to the Algarve in the morning. And we also made a pit stop in Africa. I'm just kidding, but can you believe this is Portugal? Crazy, huh? By the time we reached the sea, we were ready for salt and sun. Plus, we had finally got rid of our jet lag. We swam, body surfed, and let the waves carry us. On our way to Lagos, we stopped at a little roadside market. They had tables overflowing with fresh fruit, local goodies like honey and figs, olive oil and sardines, and they had locally handmade items like baskets and hats. And wise words of advice, always buy the thing when you see it. Because if you think to yourself, I'll get it later, chances are you probably won't. And then for months, you'll still be thinking about that little fig delicacy that you didn't buy. Anyways, Matt got a beautiful new hat and he wore it well. The beauty of this world always amazes me. And sometimes I can't believe my eyes when I see something so beautiful. And what always gets me is how land just turns into ocean. We stood there for a while, soaking it all in. And then naturally, we hiked back and stopped for some cold and deeply deserved saudade. Suddenly, our American gut microbiomes were craving a glorious burger with garlic aioli batatas on the side. And it didn't stop there. Lunch concluded with a European ritual, espresso, but make it dessert, affogato, a 2-in-1 of caffeine and ice cream. With new energy, we wandered towards the cliffs of Ponta de Piedade, unknowingly touring the very waters we'd soon be kayaking. And I love how Mother Earth always gives you a little nudge, a little hello. Today's greeting came as a wave that soaked my ankle-cut socks and my Dr. Scholl's. My Portugal bucket list contained a sultry jazz bar with a strong martini, tapas, and endless dancing. Instead, we found ourselves in the hotel lobby lounge surrounded by 50-ups eating salted bar nuts, sipping our usual vino rosso. But it was beautiful because these people had lived more life than us and were still beautifully enjoying it. It felt like we were exactly where we needed to be, and a part of me felt like we were watching our future selves. We hit the water kayaking in the brisk early morning. I had goosebumps the size of Portugal, and we were severely withdrawing from coffee, but we knew it would all be worth it once we saw the giant hole in the ceiling that is Benagil Cave. And this is how I knew I married the right man. Don't worry about paddling, just worry about taking pictures, he told me. We continued on paddling right into the small, dark, creepy cave. And I genuinely thought this was our last moment. But, alas, we made it out alive. Hey, that place looks familiar. Oh yeah. We've reached our final chapter, Lisboa. We didn't plan it, but we arrived just in time for the feast of St. Anthony, a celebration of love, and it felt meant to be. We began our honeymoon with each other and ended it surrounded by a city celebrating soulmates. And while celebrating love, we fell in love again, this time with a bifana, a juicy, delicious pork sandwich. On our last night, we sailed along the river, under the bridge, and past the Christ statue. With the sound of great music, water, wind, and a love that had only grown deeper. This is our first chapter married, and it was written slowly, like a living postcard, one that will carry forever.